This is the Music Storm podcast where we discuss music from so many angles, from artists, producers, to listeners, but with the main interest with the music industry as a whole. Today we got Silas, right? Yeah, Silas.
Yep.
Yeah, joining me. How you doing today, Silas?
I'm doing excellent. I'm doing excellent. How are you?
Excellent. I'm doing good, man. Like some of the listeners probably would not know you, of course. So like,
No,
no, just
I'm
straight
sure
up
they don't.
no. Okay, so like, let's start off. Like, where are you from, and what do you do, Silas?
So I'm from a small little town in Southern Manitoba called Altona. There's
Tona.
not a lot of people, maybe like 5,000. I'm a singer-songwriter, producer, multi-instrumentalist. At least that's what the label is. I don't like to label it, but you know, I gotta fit somewhere. So
That's the main
that's what I
thing.
do.
I love it. I love it. So where are you at? Like in your home? Are you in like a studio right
Yeah,
now, Silas?
yeah.
Or
I'm in my it's my basement studio. So
okay, so how did you get this like set up, I guess? How did you set up this whole entire like room? Because I want to know about all of it,
okay,
Silas. So
well, it used to be in the room that's actually attached,
mhm,
which was like at the time we were just using it for storage, but I was like,
mhm.
I think I kind of want to just start messing around with doing some recording. So
Yeah.
I figured, well, let's see what we can do, right? I'd
Yeah.
kind of always just messed around with GarageBand as a kid, as you do.
Yeah, as you do.
And so I started getting a little bit of stuff here and there, and then gradually I started getting like more into it, and I was like, going to a studio is
Mhm.
it's like fun and all, but
Mhm.
it can get expensive. So
So you
why
could.
not try to do it myself? So, as I got more stuff, I moved into this room, which is, it's still not ideal, but it's a
Mhm.
little bigger. We got some more space. Finally got the drums down here. So yeah.
Wow. So do you have like other people that come to your studio and record and everything, or is it like
Yeah, mostly like right now it's pretty much just my friends.
mhm.
I do a lot of work virtually too, so if I'm producing for another artist or trying to collaborate with someone, we can kind of just send files back and forth and work on
Oh,
each other's projects. So,
that's awesome. I love that. Well, let's go back. So let's start from the beginning. So like
okay.
what got you into like music and playing guitar and your influences in general, Silas? So like start from the very beginning.
Okay.
How did it all start?
This is a long story, okay?
That's fine.
Uh so I've kind of always been like around music. My dad's a musician, and
Mhm.
his side of the family there's quite a few musicians. So they used to kind of get together in the summers when I was a kid, and there was a lot of blues music. That's mainly what I grew up like just hearing. And back then I always thought it was cool, but I was like, how am I going to be able to do that, right? So yeah, eventually, my dad started trying to get me into guitar and stuff, but I would just get so frustrated because when you're like trying to start off learning something, it's just frustrating. So then I'd, get tired of guitar, and I'd, try something new. I picked up the bass, which is, really what I fell in love with, first of all. And, you know, whatever, I got tired, would switch to drums. My uncle was giving me drum lessons for a bit. Uh, so, over time, that kind of, I just started picking up these different things.
Just everything.
But yeah, it really started with the bass. So when I was I was probably about 10 years old. Uh, my family members put together a little blues band, and they got a gig at a local blues festival, and I was the bass player. So that was
Oh,
pretty sweet. So that was one of my first like real gigs, and that's kind of when I started getting into it. Really, to me, like I've always just listened to a lot of old music, like mostly from the 60s and 70s, though I listen to, a fair bit of modern music as well. But listening to that stuff has definitely influenced me. And it was the Beatles and Pink Floyd that really got me into the whole thing, but especially like Paul McCartney's bass playing just really stuck out to me.
dang. So you got a lot of like old style like influence.
Yeah.
Interesting. I like that. But with your
So
music style and everything, it's totally different compared to that, though.
Yeah, it's interesting, and it can be hard to put a label to it because I have so many different influences. Like well, later than in high school, a few years later, after I'd been playing with this blues group for a bit, I started a band of my own with two of my friends. That was, yeah, when we started high school. And that was also like a blues band, but more of like the Stevie Ray Vaughan, like Texas style blues. Um, Eventually, we had some issues or whatever, as bands do.
Yeah.
But we released a song in early 2019. Didn't really go too far, but it was a fun thing. But eventually, I had to call it quits with that. And I got
Yeah.
asked to be in another band, which was Wild Days.
Oh.
Um, yeah, we put out an EP, I guess that was last year now. But the lead singer, he actually moved away. So he's like in Nova Scotia. So I was like, okay, well, I got to start doing my own thing. But
Yeah. So
yeah, no.
you just been like, okay, band after band, it just never works out. So it's like,
Mm,
yeah, you just have to start the solo stuff. Like when I first found out about you, it was at Bankside actually last year and
yes,
everything.
that
That's
was
when,
a great time.
yeah, oh, Bankside was great. Every single musician and everything was amazing. Loved it. Loved. I've been doing doing photos for Bankside for the past 2 years now. So it's like, oh dang, they went a different direction this year. So it's like, okay, nice. But yeah, like when I first heard you at Bankside, I'm like, yo, this kid's going places. So that's I'm like,
Well, thank you.
nice,
Thank you.
nice. So what is like your vision and look on music? Like, tell me, like, what do you think about that? When you hear
So,
that?
like a lot of it for me, why I do it is because music is my passion. I've never really wanted to have like a real job. So, I mean, like there's always everyone has the pressure to, go to university after you graduate and try and get some kind of degree or start working in the trades, but none of that has ever really appealed to me. Um, I graduated just this last year actually, and what I got when I graduated was this little note or this letter, and it was actually written from me in grade 3 to myself when I would be graduating. I
Oh,
didn't remember that, but in it, it said that I wanted to be a rock star.
uh,
So I don't know, and I think that's got to be like before I actually started playing the instruments. So
damn, that's a sign right there. That's a sign there, Silas. It's
I
like,
guess
yo,
it is.
your
Yeah.
your little self's like, yo, you could be a rock star, buddy. You could be a rock star. I love that. Damn.
So I'm trying my best.
Well, if you're trying, you got to
Yeah.
succeed. That's the main thing out of it.
But yeah, really like I see myself like as an artist making my art for myself, but I'm gonna start releasing more as Silas Presley. Because right now I just have the one single out
Yeah.
that I featured on Passing Time.
Mhm.
And so I just want to start putting out my music and kind of developing that and
Yeah.
collaborating with people. And but I also want to produce for others because I have lots of fun doing that.
Yeah.
Recently, actually, me and my friend produced this song for Kill Switch. It was out on his latest album, and so that was a pretty big step for both of us. But yeah,
That
so I
is a
I'd
big
like to do
step.
more of that.
Dang, I did not expect. I did not even know about that. What? Dang, man's going in a great direction already. Holy.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, yeah. Let's let's do a little bit of fun with this. If you could date like any musician in like the world or even a celebrity, who would you date, Silas? If you could.
Well, I do have to say I'm pretty in love with my girlfriend right now.
Oh, but
But
yeah, yeah, it's that's totally fine. That's totally fine. Your girlfriend is the one, the one.
I feel like me and her have talked about this too.
Okay.
Uh,
See, from
I
myself,
don't know.
it would be Selena Gomez.
Okay. See, I used to like think that maybe like 5 years ago or something, but man, I don't know. I think Willow. I don't know if you know Willow. She's
Oh,
pretty cool.
I might know
It's
Lilo.
it's
What?
Will Smith's daughter.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
I know
she's a
Lilo.
really really cool artist.
Yeah, she's really
Yeah.
cool. That would be cool. That'd be cool. I would love to see a collaboration between you two now. Oh,
That would be sweet.
that
That
would
would
be
be,
actually cool. That'd be interesting.
yeah,
I
that's
want to see
probably
what
one
kind
I
of track
love.
you guys would do. Actually, that'd be a mix of different genres into one.
Hmm.
Ooh. So, do you think you could get better as a musician? And if you can, how do you think you will achieve that, Silas?
So yes, I think that anyone can always get better, even if they think they're the best. Well, they're not.
Yeah.
You can always be better. So the way I do that is I just, constantly try and work on it. I love doing it. So, I mean, what else am I
Why
gonna
not?
do, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I just really try and work hard and set goals for myself, long term and short term. And I've also been doing some courses. They're not actually like through the university or anything, but they're through an arts organization called Creative Manitoba. So I just finished one in November, taught by Heather Bishop. Uh, she was she was a really popular artist back in her day, and
Back in the day.
yeah.
Okay.
So that kind of taught me like the business side of this whole thing. And after that, I also followed up. Right now, I'm actually doing a mentorship with a guy named Ken Campbell.
Oh,
So
I've heard
yeah, I'm
his
just
name.
trying to
Yeah.
get as much, learning as I can from these kinds of people who have, done the whole thing already. So yeah, gain
Nice.
some of their wisdom.
Yeah, you gotta get in this industry. It's a very cutthroat industry that you have to
It
really
is.
kind of squeeze your way into, and it's hard. It's hard, especially for like a little musician from like Southern Manitoba or something like that. It's
Got to
just
work hard. You definitely do.
yeah, you have to get your name out there and try to get at any show possible, and just it's a hard business, and especially in like the winter season right now in Manitoba, it's especially
Yeah.
cold and you can't do nothing right now. Plus,
No.
COVID has put a damper on a lot of stuff too, so it's like
Yeah.
yeah,
So that's kind of also what has led me to work more in the studio because like before this, the summers, they'd be full of like playing at music festivals and fundraisers and different events, right, with my bands. But since COVID, I mean, even now, it's
it's
just
hard.
the live shows are just not the same as
Yeah.
what they were. So, I think it's kind of cool if I can do this from my home and on my own at this point.
You're making it then. Basically, a lot of the musicians are popped off from like home and everything. Like even
Hmm.
that you could probably like get off of like Twitch or like YouTube. That's a lot of how most of the big name artists they got their name out. Look at Justin Bieber. He got
Yeah,
big off of YouTube and all the social media and everything. I know a lot more new musicians are getting big off of TikTok and even like Twitch and that now. So it's like
exactly.
you got to expand your horizons now, and there's a new game in the industry that a lot of artists don't know about, and it's cool if
Yeah.
you can.
See, I was really influenced by Mac DeMarco because on his all of his records, he plays like all the instruments. He records it himself in his studio. He mixes it. So I don't know. I just think it's fun.
Yeah, I love that. I love that so much. Wow. Okay. So like, what's the writing process for like your stuff in studio and everything? Like, do you like do anything special at all, or do you have like a routine or anything? Like, how do you
Well,
do it?
uh, first you have to go out into the full moon, and no, just kidding. So it's kind of different for me for every song, but I generally start on the guitar, and it's usually also starts with a feeling for me. So I kind of try and express myself on the guitar and mess around with different progressions and see what feels right and feels wrong. And then usually once I kind of have a chord progression developed, then I'll go in with the lyrics and see what I want to do. And then I kind of add the other parts from there.
Nice.
Sometimes I'll get someone else to play the other parts. I'm still in touch with my drummer from Wild Days, Jack Penner. Um, he's going to be doing some drum work on some of my tracks coming out this or next year.
Ooh, ooh, okay, okay. So it's just play by ear game for you, basically, for what you do for
Yeah.
your writing process. Okay, That's different, and I like that because like you don't know how your brain process is gonna be turning out at this point. Maybe the new moon
Yeah,
will help you out. Who knows?
I
But like,
mean, maybe it will, but to me, like every song is just different. So
yeah,
I just do what feels right.
exactly. That's the main point, and you have to have fun with making music. That's a lot of these
Exactly.
writers nowadays are like, yeah, like they're stuck in a label, so they have a contract. So it's like, okay, we have to go in the studio. We don't have time to just have fun with it. They're just like, nah, nah, nah. We got to get this done, and it's just like, nah. You're independent. You get to have fun with this. That's the main
Yeah,
thing about it.
exactly. And I mean, at the same time, I still do try and keep myself, disciplined and on track and
Mhm.
everything.
Yeah.
But I mean, you have to be able to express your ideas how they come out. So, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, what do you do on your pastime when you're not working on music at all, Silas?
Well, whenever I'm not working on music, I'm at my day job,
Okay.
unfortunately,
Oh.
at this point.
Oh.
Yeah, I work at a grocery store. I'm a produce clerk, another one of those labels. Um, yeah.
Yeah.
So I basically stock vegetables and fruits all day. Um, it's not what I want to be doing, but
Mhm.
I'm hoping eventually, I can just drop that and I'll be able to, you know,
Do the music.
have diverse revenue streams so
Yeah.
that I can just do music full
Hey,
time.
that I know a couple people that were the produce people for musicians, and they've been blowed up. So you could be the next one, Silas. So who knows? I
Oh,
did work in what is it, Superstore, and I was the deli clerk, and I had friends in produce. So like, yo, I know the business. It's not a fun business.
no,
Retail's
it's
not
not
fun.
ideal.
It's not the ideal,
Oh,
but whatever pays the bills, I
yep.
guess.
Pays the bills, funds the music right now, so it
Hey,
works.
it works. It works. That's the main thing. So, what do you just suggest to someone getting into music, trying to pick up a guitar or like a bass or drums? Like, what do you suggest to someone new?
Well, I suggest personally to listen to a lot of the older records.
Hmm,
I mean, that's how I grew up. And I mean, not that there's anything wrong with some of the music today, but a lot of it, if it's kind of more of the mainstream type thing, I mean, a lot of it just sounds the same, right?
yeah, like
Um,
it's repetitive. That's what I've noticed with a lot of the new mainstream
yeah.
pop stuff. It's like,
So I feel like every person has to kind of discover this themselves within the instrument that they want to play and kind of create their own style. But I think it's important to have a lot of uh, influences around you, not just, famous ones, but people that you can actually get together with and learn from.
yeah, if you have like a friend or a father or anyone that's like who's musicianly talented. Even like if you're in school right now, I say like if your music teacher, talk to them. I say that's a good influence to help you out
Yeah,
too. Like,
exactly. I mean, it's helped me a lot. So, I
mhm,
mean, even if they're not necessarily a musician, I think any artist will be able to
pick up something.
provide some helpful tips.
Helpful tips. Maybe something like one little tip. They'll help.
Maybe
They'll help.
just something, you
Just
know?
something. You never know. So, what are like? Is there any artists in particular that you hope to work with in the future at all, or no?
That's a good question.
Hmm.
See, right now, I just kind of want to start building it with myself and also my friends.
Yeah.
The guitar player from my first high school band, Controlled Chaos, me and him still get together almost on a weekly basis to,
Ooh.
write music and stuff. So, yeah, no, I just think right now I'm just gonna kind of keep collaborating with people at my level, and I have some friends from the city as well that I'd like to do some work with.
That'd be
But
good.
yeah, I also want to produce for as many people as I can.
Okay. So like anyone so do you want to produce with people in the city or out of the city? Like how do you want to like branch out, I guess? How are you looking at that then?
Honestly, like I try and just look everywhere. Like
Mm,
right now, I mean, it's so easy with everything being like online and everything. You can reach out to people like easier than ever before. So, I mean, whether it's an email or something, just building that relationship with a person, I think is really important.
Yeah, that's the main thing. Yeah, that's you got to branch out some point or somehow and everything. So email's a good tactic, I guess. There's also websites I know, like there's one sites, there's a couple of them. There's one that's a rock one I know called Featured X. I don't know if that's producer or mixers and everything. I know that's for like guitar players and bass players and everything. It's just
Okay.
instrumental work. I know that's more in the rock metal influences, but like there's one site that I know that's like part of Spotify's and it's called Sound Better, and you could get
Oh, I've
yeah.
heard of that.
Sound Better is a very good platform I've heard, and it's very useful for a lot of musicians that are looking to get like producers, mixers, engineers, as well as guitar players. Anything to do with any musician standpoint, it'll help you out. Like even yourself, you could probably even put yourself
Yeah.
on there and get
Yeah,
paid
no, I
to do
think
your stuff.
I actually looked into, I think it was that site actually. I
Yeah.
think I looked at that at one point, but
Yeah.
it's like I said, it's so much easier these days to reach out to anyone. Like even if you just start by commenting on their post or replying to their story or anything like that, right?
Yeah, that's how you can get in with a lot of people in this day and age in the industry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, what are some your favorite artists that you did get to work with so far in like your start of your music career already? I guess.
Well, I have really liked working with Thunder McVeigh.
Mm-hmm.
We released a song "Passing Time,"
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, he's friends with a group of guys also from the city, uh, post-war. I don't know if you've heard of
Okay,
him.
I've heard
He's a
of this one.
rapper,
Yeah.
Sonny Darko,
Mm-hmm.
and a guy named Akram.
Yeah,
And
I know it, but
yeah,
okay.
we kind of all have been working together over the last few months, and just supporting each other and collaborating where we can. Mostly me and Thunder have been doing some work, but I also do really like working with my friend Noah from Controlled Chaos.
Oh, Noah. Okay. Okay. What do you think will be the next project you're going to be working on with these individuals? Like, what are you guys looking towards, I guess?
Well, right now, me and Noah, because we're
Mm,
kind of at the same point, right?
yeah.
We were both in the band. I've been in another one since then, but we've always kind of been there for each other. We've known each other for like a very long time
Yeah.
before we started the bands and everything. And so we're both kind of just trying to support each other, and I'm trying to kind of get a few singles out to kind of lead into an EP, hopefully by the end of next year. And I believe, he's wanting to put out an EP as well. So we're mostly just trying to work on our own stuff, but we're also, working on some songs that might come out as singles now and in between then. Same with me and Thunder as well.
Ooh. Okay.
There's
Okay.
not anything specific like for certain yet, but I
Yeah.
think it's in the works.
In the works. Okay. So like, there is an EP on the way. Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it's
I've
coming.
got like most of the songs completely written. It's just
Yeah. Just
recording,
recording and mixing and the
mixing, and
mastering and then all that jazz.
marketing, and
It's it's a
all of it.
hassle.
Yeah,
It's a big
and
hassle.
I want to make sure I do it right as well, because I don't want to just put something out there if it's not to the fullest of my potential.
Yeah.
Like the song that I've been recording today, I think I've started recording like this is probably the fourth or fifth time.
Mm,
Yeah, I just really want to get it to sound
perfect.
how I want it to, or
Yeah.
how I
Yeah.
envision it to.
Yeah. Like what I've found out from a lot of people, it's hard for promotion in this city for the new artists and everything. It's very hard to get your name out here
Hmm.
in Manitoba in general. But like if it's like out of province, I've heard it's like better. I don't know why, but it's just like it's better promotion out of province than bloody in province. I don't know why. It just is like that way. So it's like
Yeah,
there's
it's a
ways to
weird
do it.
rule.
It's a weird rule and it's a weird way on seeing how it works on that standpoint. But like, as just on yourself to like look at other provinces as well for promotion as well, maybe.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
yeah, that's
I
what I
mean,
suggest.
like again, that's a nice thing with everything online. If you're running ads or whatever, I mean, to me, unfortunately, one of the biggest things these days is social media.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a gift. I will say
And it
that,
works.
but back in the day, you didn't really have any of that, so you had to just kind of go out and play your shows and put out your records and
And hope for the best.
kind of do it, that way. But social media is also a gift. There's also a lot of, negative stuff
Yeah.
that comes with it. But yeah, I
Yeah.
think that, I mean, on TikTok or like you were saying, YouTube or Twitch or
Mhm.
whatever, it's a lot more easy to get discovered that way, right?
In a sense, yes, but at the same time, no, because yeah, it is helpful, but it's still a curse
It's very
because
saturated.
yeah, it's saturated, but also it's still hard to get your name out there and pushed. Like for
Yeah.
instance, I've also talked to a lot of these musicians and everything. Like TikTok is like a lot of the YouTube, like if you do watch promotion videos on YouTube and everything about like music promotion and standpoint, they're all gonna say, "Oh yeah, TikTok is the number one platform. You have to go and promote yourself the next year." I'm like, guys, there's another platform that a lot of these musicians have not looked at. YouTube Shorts. That is blowing up right now. So that
That I
is,
have not experimented with, but
yeah.
I've looked into it. So
I say experimental on that because not many people have, and it's a new platform that just got introduced like this past year. So it's like, might as well
it's
capitalize it
new.
on it's brand new.
Yeah,
It's starting to
yeah,
get pushed out.
exactly.
So I say experiment with that and see how that goes. I know
Yeah,
some people
that's
will
cool.
try that out. So I hope that does help. I really hope. But
Yeah, that would be great.
yeah. So what is your favorite show you think you've played so far, Silas?
Oh man. Well, just off the top of my head, I think probably my last show with Wild Days.
Okay.
It was at the PWN's hall in Winkler, Manitoba.
Okay.
It was part of a fundraiser for the Back 40 Festival, and it was kind of like I think they called it Winkler City Limits, like based off Austin City Limits. But it was a bunch of local bands, giving them a shot to kind of showcase themselves. And that was, yeah, when I was with
Yeah.
Wild Days. So I think that show really captured who we are, who we were, I
Who
guess.
you were. Yeah.
We played a lot of our original music at that.
Mm,
So yeah, and the lights and everything, it was just a really
everything
good night.
worked. That's good. I like that. What is your dream tour though?
Oh man. Well, I would love to tour North America, first of all.
But yeah, of course.
Um, and I would love to go all over the world when I
Mm.
can.
Is there a specific lineup that you want to bring on with your tour?
I've thought about that. I think I would probably have to get my dad to open up for me with some acoustic stuff, and
Ooh.
I think that would be pretty sweet. But I haven't put too much thought into
Hey.
other bands that could join. I mean, obviously there's the dream ones, but
Well, that's the hope. You hope to
yeah,
be with the dream ones, but
exactly.
that's that's one step in that direction. But so,
Absolutely.
do you think you'll tour out of province in the next like couple of years at all, Silas, or no?
I'm hoping to. I
Yeah.
mean, as soon as all this stuff outside is over, I'm definitely hoping to, get out there and play as many shows as I can.
Mhm.
But, it's nice right now in a way. Obviously, I miss playing shows. Everyone does.
Yeah.
But it also gives me a chance to kind of,
Expand.
really work on that live aspect of it so that when, things do finally open up again, I can go in like full force on my best game.
Yeah, that'd be good. I really am excited to see your next live performance when I get a chance to, and just see how well you've improved yourself the last time I saw you, and just in general, like see where your direction is going. And I'm excited for that when that does
Yeah.
happen. So
I'm super excited.
yeah,
Yeah, Bankside, that was the
that
last
you
like
did.
real show that I played.
Wow,
We had one scheduled for September sometime.
that got
That got
canceled.
canceled at the last minute, but I was supposed to have like a full band backing me and we were gonna play some of my songs. So it was gonna be like my first chance to,
Actually,
show my original songs live because obviously I can't play all the parts myself.
yeah.
But
Dang.
yeah, that
I,
was really sad.
yeah, I did not even know about that. Wow, that's rough. That's
Hmm.
sorry about that. But
Yeah.
so I did listen to Passing Time, and it's very much like I don't know if you know the band Wallows, but
Hmm.
it gave me that Wallows vibe, but like with a groove rock. So tell me how Passing
Cool.
Time came to be, basically.
Well, Thunder and I had actually not even met in person
Hmm.
before we recorded that. So, or I guess like until after. I think even I think we met a little bit before it was released, but we'd done the whole thing. Um, yeah, it started with him sending me an instrumental. It was with the keys and the drums and everything. Um, he couldn't play guitar because he had surgery on his arm. So he was like, okay, well, we had been talking over the last few months. He's a photographer as well. So we had been planning to do a shoot. Still haven't gotten around to it yet, but we started talking or whatever. And he sent me this instrumental and asked if I would play some guitar on it. So yeah, I picked it up and recorded my parts over that, sent those files back to him. He kind of arranged it, sent that back to me, and then I added my vocals on the chorus, and he recorded his vocals, and then we both kind of took part in mixing it, and just like that, we had a song completely done virtually.
Dang. Dang. Are you
Yeah,
gonna be
that one happened pretty quick. So
Yeah, that's good. Are you gonna be like probably planning on more stuff with Thunder, probably with his stuff, and then your stuff probably the next
yeah,
like year?
I
Yeah.
think I think there's definitely going to be more collaborations and releases
Mm,
out there with both of us in the future.
to be good. I want to see like a full entire like EP between you two. Like I know a lot of artists have done that. Like it's just like,
That would
oh,
that would be sweet.
yeah, or even like an album in general. There's
Yeah,
like collaboration albums, dual albums, and that. So
yeah, like the Silk Sonic album. I don't know if you listen to that at all with
yeah,
Bruno Mars and Anderson .Paak. That was a pretty good album.
that was a good album. That's a really good album, actually. I love that album to death. It was good. So I did, so you are working on the new music, of course. So like, if you didn't have music in general, if you didn't believe in music in general, so like, if you, what would you be doing right now if it wasn't for music, basically?
Well, I think I would probably be a filmmaker. I
Oh,
have also really enjoyed that. I haven't worked on it in a long time, but
mm,
when I was younger, I always had fun putting videos together and, writing these scripts and these stories. But yeah, no, I haven't had a chance to work on it lately, but I think that's probably what I would want to do if it weren't for music.
nice. So like, film. Okay. So would you like to be like for a director for movies or like for music videos or like what would you
I
probably
think
prefer?
I think I just wanted to make movies. Yeah.
Okay. What kind of movies though? That's the thing. Like drama movies, action
Mm.
movies. Was there a
Mm.
specific?
Well, I really like thriller movies and fantasy
Mm.
movies, but
Oh.
those are like a lot harder to make. So
Ye-
I'd probably make thrillers, I think.
Yeah. We need to see the Silas thriller movie.
Maybe we can do a music and film project. Who knows?
Let's see it in the next year. I'm kidding.
I
So
don't know about that one.
I don't think they'll maybe maybe 2 or 3 years down the road. But so what do you think when you hear the music industry as a whole right now? So like labels, streaming, everything right now. Like what do you think when you hear that like term, Silas?
Well, I think it has its pros and its cons. I
Hmm.
think a lot of the labels, the bigger labels, are not treating the artists right.
Hmm.
And I mean, even with streaming, like it's so hard to make any kind of money off of Spotify streams or anything like that. So it's unfortunate, but I also think that the independent labels are really coming up on the rise. So I think that's a good thing because a lot of them at least give the artist more say in what they want to do and treat them a lot better from what I've heard. So
do you think you'll like sign a record deal or a label or anything in the
I
possible
could
future?
I could see it happening, but I it would have to be the right deal.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with that. But like, yeah, that's the main thing. Like, you have to have the right deal. You have to be creative with your music. Like, I know a lot of these artists that I've talked to. It's like, they're stuck in this contract and they've hated it, and then they just go off the radar and everything.
Yeah.
It's been hard for a lot of these artists that are like new, independent, and it's been terrible. It's been terrible the
Yeah.
last like decade really for these artists.
No, certainly. I mean, I was approached by a management company early last year,
Mm.
and like they approached me and wanted to set up a meeting because they were interested in signing
Oh,
me, right?
yeah.
So I gave them the time of day,
Mm-hmm.
went on a phone with them, and my parents were there as well because at the time I was still 17, so they had to be there. But uh, it sounded great and everything. I mean, it wasn't a scam. It didn't like really seem fake.
Oh,
But then
interesting.
they sent the contract over, and we had that looked over, and it was just one of those ones that would have completely locked me in. And so I'm really glad I didn't sign
Mind
that.
mind me asking how? Okay, is there a way that I can know about this contract? So like, was it like a lock-in deal or like what did the
Yeah,
contract say basically, if you can?
it was like something like let's say I wanted to do a show with, the old blues band.
Mm-hmm.
Like we only would get together in the summers because one of the players, he also lives in Halifax.
Yeah.
Uh, so like let's say I just wanted to do a little show on my front porch with them.
Yeah.
I would not be able to do that without this company's permission, and
Oh.
I would not have the chance to leave the deal. I think in like 4 years, I think I was locked in for. They could pull out at any time, but I wouldn't be able to.
Damn.
And I think the percentages were just not very fair.
Not fair. Okay. Wow. Yeah, that's interesting about. I've not heard any contracts about that, about shows and everything. So that's new to my ears about
Yeah,
hearing about that. So that really sucks. So that's
I think they wanted to make me into more of a pop star. Um, not my
oh. Well, good thing you didn't do that. So that's good. Hey, maybe if down the road things don't work out, Silas, you still.
maybe I'll. They actually, the funny thing is, I had said no very politely,
Mm-hmm.
very very politely,
Yeah.
and didn't get a response until months later. I got a message saying that how I responded was so rude, and then they asked me again if I would consider it. So I just didn't even respond to that.
Oh, dang.
I think I
That.
got blocked too.
Oh,
Yeah,
well. I guess there's no chance of you becoming a pop star.
that's not.
Guess not,
Sorry,
but
folks.
it's sorry everyone. Silas is not going to become a pop star.
No.
Dang. So what are your thoughts about like any suggestions to like artists that are looking into getting these contracts at all? Like, what do you think? What they should be doing? What are your suggestions, Silas? As a
I would definitely say get someone to look it over. I had Heather Bishop, the same lady who taught that one course that I did. She looked over it. That's actually how I made the connection with her through my girlfriend's family because they know her. And
cool.
yeah, I would really just say have someone look it over, not just a lawyer, but like someone that knows the arts.
The arts.
So there's a lot of like language in it that can totally, mess you up. And the way things are worded, it can make it seem like it's good, but then it's
Hmm.
just
It
it's
just
just
doesn't
not.
work. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So do you okay? So do you really think artists should stay more independent, or do you think they should go to labels or contracts or anything along those lines?
I mean, I don't think like in all cases there's anything wrong with signing to that. It
Hmm.
also I think depends with what, that said artist wants to do with their career. and where they want to go. But yeah, I think it is cool to stay independent, and I think a lot of artists should try putting in the work themselves because it's not easy, but I think that it's important to know how it's done,
Yeah, it's good to know those people and to have people around you to help you out with that kind of stuff. And it's
at
just
least at first.
at first, and then try to expand after that. But like for sure, I say right now in this day and age, like I know what is it one band in particular that I'm more on the metal side of things, so I know like a
Right.
couple of the bands and everything, but like I know one band in particular, The Word Alive, they just went independent. So I'm like, oh, that's interesting. When they've been in the music industry for about almost like
That
15
is
years, 20
interesting.
years, that has been on labels every single year, but now go independent. So it's like they have the fan base to back them up now to go independent, which is
Exactly.
great. So it's
Yeah.
like might as
I
well look
mean,
into that.
some people, they're able to do it independently too. Like you look at Brent Faiyaz, I mean, he's huge and he's completely independent. So,
Yeah, the
yeah,
independent's the way to go maybe nowadays. So
maybe.
maybe unless we both get signed to a contract, then we're screwed.
Yeah, this video is gonna get deleted then.
My whole entire podcast will get deleted. Silence.
Canceled.
Yeah,
Absolutely
I'm
canceled.
getting canceled now at this point. So if you could have your listeners, fans, remember you, one thing about yourself, Silas, what would it be?
I would like to be remembered for my message, which is always peace and love. Treat everyone with peace and love, because when you do that, I mean, good things always come back to you. I mean, there's some bad things, but we're not going to talk about that. But just try and be as positive as you can. Obviously, I would love to be remembered for my music
Mm-hmm.
and for making a difference in the world, a more peaceful world, and a more unified world.
Mm, I love that. I love that. Promote. Do you have any like artists that you want to like promote at all in like Manitoba or Winnipeg, or any artists in particular you want to shout out that are
I
smaller?
would I would like to shout out again to Thunder McVeigh, Post War, Sonny Darko. They've got some great tracks out, and
Oh,
they're really working hard at this whole thing.
heck
So
yeah.
I'd like to give him a shout out. Noah Gitzel as well. He's been great. He's
Heck
got,
yeah.
I mean, we've got a song out together,
Mm-hmm.
but it's under Silas Jaworski, which
Mm.
is my real last name. I don't use that anymore, but it's there if you want to listen to it. And he's gonna have some more music coming out in the next year.
Awesome. And shout yourself out, Silas. Like, what are some stuff that you're working on that you want the people to know about you? Anything in particular at all?
I would just like the people to know that there are going to be some singles coming out soon, and I am super excited to finally share it. And, I just want people to stay tuned and see how everything develops. And it's going to lead into an EP or an album. We'll see if I have like way more songs at that point that are good, then maybe
Deluxe.
I'll just make it an album. But just watch how it plays out.
I love it. Love it. Love it.